Hello everyone and welcome to IVSA Bedar's official YouTube channel Pashuvani. Pashuvani is a platform that provides you with veterinary education. Our video series consists of practical relevant lecture videos, field approach clinical aspects, guide and tip for future careers, smart content related to both animal and veterinary science. We believe sharing is caring, so please like, comment and subscribe for further updates. And now, let's welcome a speaker of today's episode of Saturday's Sharing.
Hello, I am Dr. Arun Kharate, Assistant Professor, Department of Veterinary Public Health and Epidemiology. Today I am going to discuss about antibiotic resistance. Why resistance is a concern? Because resistant organisms lead to treatment failure. Antimicrobial resistance increases mortality. Resistant bacteria may spread in the community, and low level resistance can go undetected sometimes, and resistance in bacteria add burden on healthcare costs, and it threatens to return the community to pre-antibiotic era, and it also adds selection pressure. What is this antibiotic resistance? As per WHO, antibiotic resistance is defined as microorganisms that are not inhibited by usually achievable systemic concentration of an antimicrobial agent with normal dosage schedule and or fall in the minimum inhibitory concentration range is considered as antibiotic resistance. So how antibiotic resistance happens? There are a lot of germs. So a few germs are drug resistant, and when antibiotic is administered, antibiotics kill bacteria causing the illness as well as the good bacteria that protect the body from infection. Later, the drug resistant bacteria who survive now they are allowed to grow and take over, and some bacteria give their drug resistance to other bacteria. And there are some myths with respect to the antibiotic resistance, like you don't have to take all the antibiotics that you are prescribed with. No, you have to take all the antibiotics. You have to complete the antibiotic course. Sometimes it is 3 days, 4 days or 5 days. And second myth is antibiotic resistance means the body will no longer respond to the drugs. No, this is another myth. The third one is only people who use antibiotics regularly are at the risk of antimicrobial resistance. No. Say in a family, someone is falling sick frequently and he is using antibiotics regularly. There are quite chances that the other members in the family also may develop antibiotic resistance. And another myth is antibiotics can be used to treat cold and flu. Usually cold and flu is caused by viruses. So antibiotics cannot be used to treat cold and flu. And there is nothing you can do to lower the antibiotic risk is another myth. If a coordinated efforts are there among the communities, among the doctors and the pharmacists, definitely antimicrobial resistance can be reduced. And there are some mechanisms of actions of antibiotics. Every antibiotic has some mechanism, like some create this dysfunction of cell wall, and some they breach the synthesis of DNA, and some act on DNA gyrase. Like this, there are some mechanisms through which the bacteria are killed. And now what is the mechanism of antimicrobial resistance? There are two mechanisms. One is intrinsic, another one is acquired. Intrinsic is a natural one which by bacteria by birth itself it develops, and acquired there are again two types. One is a mutation like chromosomal methods, the other one is extra chromosomal methods. If you look into intrinsic resistance, it occurs naturally, like some bacteria lack target, like there is no cell wall, say Mycoplasma don't have cell wall, and innately it develops resistance to penicillin. And second one is innate efflux pumps. Drugs blocked from entering the cell are exported out of the exported out of the cell that do not achieve adequate internal concentration. For example, E. coli and Pseudomonas aeruginosa, these have innate efflux pump. The third one is drug inactivation. Cephalosporins are there with Klebsiella. So when cephalosporins are administered to treat infections caused by Klebsiella, it immediately deactivates the cephalosporins with the enzyme cephalosporinase. And acquired resistance, there are mutations. Mutation refers to change in the DNA structure of the gene, and it occurs frequently. The frequency is 1 per 10 million cells. For example, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Mycobacterium leptae, and methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. And often mutants have reduced the susceptibility. Once the bacteria get mutated, the resistance it develops. The susceptibility is reduced. And plasmids. Plasmids are the extra chromosomal genetic material that can replicate independently and freely in the cytoplasm. And plasmids which carry gene resistance, they are called as R genes. They are called as R plasmids. And these R genes can be readily transformed from one R plasmid to another plasmid or to the chromosome. And much of the drug resistance encountered in clinical practice is plasmid mediated. And mechanisms of drug resistance through gene transfer. There are some mechanisms like a transfer of resistance gene from one bacteria to another bacteria can occur through conjugation. Conjugation, a channel is formed between the donor cell and a recipient cell, and the resistance gene is transported to the other cell. And transduction, in transduction there is a role of bacteriophages. When a bacteria is infected with some phage, the phage they will multiply in the bacteria, and while multiplying it uses the genetic material of the bacteria, and this genetic material, if R genes are there, when this bacteriophage will attack the next other bacterial population, then this R gene is transferred to the next bacteria. And then transformation. Transformation is when some bacteria dies, if it is having R genes, this gene will be picked up by some competent bacteria. Then the susceptible bacteria will become resistant bacteria. And transfer of R genes between plasmids within the bacteria is also possible. There are two mechanisms. One is by transposons and the other one is by integrons. And there are some biochemical mechanisms of antimicrobial resistance, like prevention of the drug accumulation in the bacterium, and modification or protection of the target site. If the target site is modified or it is protected, the antibiotic cannot act. And use of alternative pathway for metabolic or growth requirements. Say if some growth pathway is blocked by antimicrobial or antibiotic, alternative pathway can be utilized by the bacteria to sustain, grow and multiply. And some byproducts, an enzyme that inactivates the antibiotic. There are some products like enzymes, like I said, cephalosporinase for Klebsiella. If the enzyme is produced by the bacteria, that can inactivate the antibiotic. And quorum sensing. Quorum sensing is a there are discussions that will go among the bacteria, like when to multiply, when to express the pathogenic toxins, something like that. That is quorum sensing. And the quorum sensing, microbes communicate with each other and they exchange the signaling chemicals. They are called as autoinducers. These autoinducers allow bacterial population to coordinate and express the genes for virulence, conjugation, apoptosis, mobility and resistance. Quorum sensing signal molecules are like AHL, AIP, AI2, AI3 have been identified in gram-negative bacteria, and AHL stands for autohemoserine lactone, and AI2 quorum sensing is shared in gram-positive bacteria. And how to contain this resistance, how to control this antibiotic resistance? First one is to develop new antibiotics, like they bypass the drug resistance, and second one is judicious use of existing antibiotics, like containment of drug resistance, it will help. And alternative approaches are like phage therapy is a therapeutic use of lytic bacteriophage to treat pathogenic bacterial infections, and bacteriophages are viruses that invade bacterial cells and disrupt the bacterial metabolism and cause bacterium to lyse, and bacteriophage therapy is important alternative to antibiotics. The success rate was 80 to 95% with few gastrointestinal or allergic side effects, and British studies also demonstrated that the significant efficacy of phages against E. coli, Acinetobacter species, Pseudomonas species, and Staphylococcus aureus they have achieved. And efflux pump inhibitors can also be used as an alternative path. And judicious use of antibiotics can only contain antibiotic resistance, and it cannot eliminate the possibility of antibiotic development, as resistance is an evolutionary process. And containment of resistance, how to control it is a multi-pronged program which involves physicians, veterinarians, patients, and pharmaceuticals. And take home message, like target definitive therapy to known pathogen, treat infection not contamination, know when to say no to higher antibiotics like vancomycin, carbapenems, and cephalosporin 4th generation. As far as possible, isolate the pathogen and break the chain of contagion. Keep your hands clean and start simple bedside test like gram stain microscopy, etc. And these microbes and vectors that swim at evolutionary stream, and they swim at faster than we do. Bacterial reproduce every 30 minutes, and for them a millennium is compressed into a fortnight, and they are fleet of foot, and the pace of our research must keep up with them, and they will otherwise they will overtake us. Microbes were here on earth 2 billion years ago before humans arrived and learning every trick for survival, and it is likely that they will be here 2 billion years after we depart. This statement was given by Krause in 1998. And thank you, one and all.